Survive Poisoned Productions.
Hey guys, so I thought I would explain to you some of the different Halloween makeup you might be coming across this year. I just thought I would do this because I haven't had a chit chat with you guys in a while, and none of my videos have been able to have a vlog component in it. So I just thought I would stop by, see how you're doing and all that good stuff. Oh my god, today I had the worst morning ever. I got into my car to go to school. Turns out my water bottle had opened in my purse, so it got all over me when I set it on myself in the vehicle. So I put it aside, I got everything important out of it, and then I went oh shit, now I'm all wet. What do I do? If I go upstairs and change, I'm gonna be late, but I think I have my coat in the back, so I'll just throw that on when I'm walking across campus to get to my classroom. Got to the school, got to the parkade, looked in the back, no jacket to be found. And I was like, well, I'm not walking across campus soaking wet as it's cold outside and I'm just getting over the flu and I'm not getting it back again. So I was like, Jesus, is this you telling me you don't want me to go to class today? Is that what I'm hearing? How did your morning go? Did your morning go better than that? Yes, no, maybe so. Anyways, guys, the first thing we're going to start with is the grease paints. I have the Mayron Color Cups grease paints versus the Mayron FX cream paints versus face paints. So we're going to talk about the differences between all of these. So with the grease paints, let's just talk about how absolutely fucking horrifying this product is, and it feels super gross, and it spreads let's just show you. It covers well, but it's one of those things that you can feel it. It's really good if you want to blend things into it very quickly. If I wanted to add a black shadow in there really quick. So now I'm going to use a black face paint. Take a brush, slather it all around there. Now I'm just going to make a line. I'm going to rub my brush off a bit, and I'm just going to blend downwards. Like so. Grease paints work really well for blending because they don't dry right away, and they're always kind of I don't know, I feel like they have a slimy texture. You do need to set grease paints with some sort of translucent powder. This isn't translucent, but it's the closest powder I had to show you. Honestly, I'd set it with baby powder or something. I haven't personally done that. If you set it with baby powder and it's too white, then just go and get a cheap overall setting powder from Shoppers or Walmart, anything like that. Now, the Mayron FX cream paint, most cream paints don't set by themselves, but if you do small enough layers of this, it will set by itself. So I'm just going to squeeze out a bit onto a nearby surface, which turns out to be my concealer, sorry. I'm going to take a sponge again and just dabble it all around. And try and make sure that the bottom is somewhat evenly saturated with the color, and then you can apply it on and it goes on quite evenly. If I could see what I was doing, that'd be super helpful. Just tap, 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 tap away. So you get a spot like that. Give it a couple of minutes and then it will dry and you can go over it again and get darker and darker layers without using a setting powder. But if you're using a cream makeup like the Makeup Forever Flash Palette. Then you will need to set it with some sort of powder. The only reasons you don't have to do it for this is because you can create a light enough layer that it will dry on its own. So, and then you can just keep going over it, keep going over it, and keep going over it, and it will build up the color and get darker and darker and darker. So that's one thing to keep in mind for that. And then water activated paints are personally my favorite. I think they're the most comfortable and easy to use. I'm just going to spray a bit of water into the pan. Like 2 or 3 squirts. And then again, I'm going to saturate my brush with the color. And then you can just paint on, and you get immediate pigment right away. I had black on my brush before, so this is a bit darker than the actual color is. And again, once this dries, you can also go over it with more paint and make it darker and darker. Just make sure not to make the pan too watery, or else your paint will run and it'll just be hard to work with. One thing to keep in mind is that water activated paints are activated by water, obviously. So that means that if you sweat a lot, the paint will start to run or smudge or move. And this also means that like if it starts raining or anything like that, the paint will also want to smudge and move. So that's one thing to keep in mind. That's why like grease paints and cream paints are here, because they don't move when you sweat. So if that's a concern that you have this Halloween, I would definitely go for the grease or cream paints. Personally, unless you want to do a lot of like quick blending like this, I would say to use cream paints because they are more comfortable on the skin. I would use cream paints first, and then if you needed any detailing work, I would take a small brush with some black water paint and go over top of the cream and like do little designs and stuff. The only thing that's bad for the cream and grease paints is they aren't the best when you need to do like line work, you know what I mean? Like if you need to make little designs in the skin, or you want to like outline wrinkles and stuff. Creams and grease-based paints just aren't the best for that. They don't make a nice solid line. They're like basically better for like blending out like your base. But they're not real good for detail work, if that made any sense at all. Another thing to keep in mind is that there are face paints at your local Halloween store, but they might not come in a circular pan like this. I have seen face paints that come in a popsicle stick. It's like a popsicle stick with a little like glob of like product at the end of it, and you just wipe your brush on the popsicle stick and then you get the paint. So it might look a little different than this in your Halloween stores, but this Mayron FX cream paint and this Mayron grease paint are pretty much exactly what they're gonna look like at your Halloween stores, so keep that in mind. I just thought I would make this video to quickly explain those 3 differences, because it is a little bit confusing, especially if you're just getting into the makeup world. Like, what's the difference between cream, grease, and, you know, water-based? Like, it's kind of difficult because there's no, like, real answers anywhere. Honestly, most people, like, avoid using grease-based makeups unless you have to, just because they are the most uncomfortable. I would say cream and face paint are my top 2, and face paint is definitely my numero uno. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If you have any other questions, please leave it in a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Poison Productions. I hope you guys have an awesome day and an awesome Halloween, and I will see you guys in the next video.